Hey, beautiful humans, and welcome back to my channel. If you're anything like me, you have struggled with the destructive force of comparison, comparing yourself to other people physically, comparing your mental acumen to where other people are, comparing your experience to where others are, your education, your income, your chochas, your stuff, your whatever. If you're anything like me, you have fallen into the trap of comparing yourself to other people and to where others are in life. Fill in the gap, right? And so this week, I really want to spend time talking about the splendor and all of our uniqueness, as messy and chaotic and crazy as it sometimes seems, and just the ridiculousness of comparison. When I was in my early 20s, I wrote this essay addressing the destructive power of comparison specifically by illustrating how glorious each flower in a bouquet is, and that if that flower had to compare itself to the other flower, it would be so weird. And so a couple of years ago, I was asked to contribute towards a devotional for a women's conference. And I, again, thought about this concept of comparison. And so I distilled that essay into a devotional. And a friend of mine reminded me of this devotional last week. So that is why it's comparison this week. I'm going to tee off our session together today by reading the devotional for you. And then we can unpack what that means and make it helpful. So stick with me. And this is for ladies and gents, although a lot of the conversation was for ladies back then. Okay. The scripture, it's scripturally based. The scripture is in Psalms 139, verse 14. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Consider so that was from the NIV. Consider the intricate delicateness or delicacy of a rose, with its captivating colors and aromatic perfumes. Think of the sunflower, resembling the rising sun as its petals turn to follow its rays. Contemplate the resilient lily, snow white or crimson, surviving diverse climates while symbolizing innocence restored. Each flower possesses its own breathtaking beauty and profound marvels. How can a sunflower measure up to the fullness of a rose's bloom? How does the humble lily compare to the sunflower's graceful turn towards the sun? In the face of such comparisons, we discover that God did not create us to be compared. Each flower is unique, adding to the collective beauty without diminishing any other. The existence of one flower does not make any other less beautiful or unworthy. Likewise, you are one of a kind masterpiece. You cannot be compared or replicated. You were purposefully woven together in your mother's womb, loved and valued by our Creator. There is no other person like you, and there will never be. Whether you're a parent, a sibling, a partner, a spouse, a brother or sister, I said sibling, a son or a daughter, a child, you bring your own unique gifts and blessings to this world. Do not let the ugliness of comparison steal your beauty or diminish your ability to appreciate the beauty in others. You are remarkable and spectacular, just as you are, without needing to compare yourself to anyone else. Remember that a rose, a sunflower, and a lily each shine in their unique giftings. Whether the weeds of insecurity creep into your life, or whenever the weeds of insecurity creep into your life, know that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Embrace your true essence and let your light shine, for there is no other person like you, and the world is blessed because of your presence. I think that's pretty special, right? And if we stick with this notion of a sunflower would wilt in comparison to a rose in full bloom. And so when we try and contrast the uniqueness and the gift that is us against the uniqueness and the gift that is someone else in their fullness, all we're doing is stealing our joy and stealing and robbing other people of the full experience of who we are as we are right now. You see, I think often the enemy, if that's what you believe, I'm unapologetic a Christian, but I think so often the enemy comes against us by trying to make us feel smaller than we are and trying to make us feel like we're unworthy to bring the fullness of what God's put inside of us to this world. And he's very sneaky like that. And so he doesn't just say, you're not good enough, you're unworthy, you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too uneducated, you're too unqualified or overeducated or overqualified or a bad sibling. He doesn't just say that. He says, why don't you take a look over the hedge, just over the wall, over the fence, take a look at that person. You're not where they are. You don't look that way. You don't sound that way. You don't speak that way. You don't have that thing. He often does that. He points our focus on others, and then not only invalidates where we are or tries to invalidate where we are, but he also stirs a resentment for others. And I think that one line here, don't let the ugliness of comparison steal your beauty or diminish your ability to appreciate the beauty in others. I think comparison does that, right? So we know the first attack of comparison is to steal our beauty, because we when we truly don't believe that what we have to give to this world is awesome, then we do wilt and we wither and we shine less bright. We totally do. I felt trapped. So, okay, so I'm going to get there. Squirrel. But when we compare ourselves to other people all the time, man, it's very hard to see the beauty and the splendor and the gift of them, the gift that they bring to this world. It's so hard because our hearts have become bitter. And so, as much as I get this and try to live this out, and have my identity rooted in what the Creator says about me and bring that to the world, I went to a mountain bike race on Sunday. And I wasn't dressed for the mountain bike race. I was dressed for the afternoon that I had planned after the mountain bike race, right? And so I was dressed like a jaxie flower. And I did not fit into the environment, right? And I felt myself, because I was comparing myself to the environment, going, well, I really feel like I'm sticking out like a sore thumb. I could feel, I'm quite a tall lady, and I could feel myself try and just hide myself a little bit, because I was falling prey or victim to this comparison trap, right? Well, I don't look the way they look, and they look the way they're supposed to look in an environment like this, and little. So how can I shrink a little bit? How can I be less? And I had to literally catch myself and go, absolutely not. Chin up, shoulders back. If we're gonna stand out, we're gonna do it with 1,000,000 watts, the voltage of 1,000,000 watts. And I just want to say, guys, in my experience, when I give myself permission to shine in my fullness, in my uniqueness, in my quirkiness, the light that Abba allows to shine through me is so brilliant that it doesn't just light rooms, but it lights up other flowers. It lights up other people. And you can almost see when you bring your you-ness and you don't worry about how that's showing up against someone else's themness, right? When you bring the full you-ness to an environment or to a situation, you see other people's voltage, their wattage, their brilliance just turn up so many notches. And so isn't that a cool thing to do? Isn't that a really cool thing to know? Is that when we consider that we are a flower in a garden of incredible flowers, and that our little petals are gorgeous just the way they are, and in our uniqueness we get to just be that, And we don't have to compare our petals to the petals of other flowers who are very different. You know, I think there is something beautiful in being the you that is you and the you that God created you to be, with reckless abandon and with fullness and with joy and with enthusiasm, right? And bringing all of you into every environment and every situation. And when we do that, and we do that consistently, and we do that well, all of the other people in those environments get permission to do the same thing. It's like that quote. It comes from the movie Carter, Coach Carter, and I can't remember what it is right now. I think it was a Mandela quote, but I forget. The point is, when you bring all you have to offer, as you have to offer it, you give permission to those around you to do the same. And man, is that cool when we all start showing up as fully us and fully okay with that, with no excuses and no comparison, no resentment, no bitterness. And we all do that. I've got goosies. It transcends joyful living. It transcends so many boundaries. It's just it's a great space to be in. So this week, if you are not feeling okay about who you are, about where you are, I want you to know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, knit together in your mother's womb. God knew you before the foundations of the earth was laid, and he knows you intimately. That identity is worth shining out in all of your brilliance. You were not made in comparison to someone else. And where you are right now, where you find yourself from an environment point of view or a situation point of view, it's okay. It's totally okay. Because you're on a journey. And where you are right now, it's not where someone else is. And if you make it okay for you to be okay with where you are, you're going to make it okay for other people who are not even where you are to be okay with themselves and where they are. So this week, let's make it okay to be okay. I love you guys madly. Know that you're beautiful in all your uniqueness, with all your messiness, with all your chaos, with all of the stuff that comes with being you. You are beautiful. Live that out this week, and I'll see you next week.